Hello, boxing fans. Welcome to another episode of World Championship Boxing. And we're doing another fight recap show today. What's up, man?
Hey, good evening, Logan. Good evening, fight fans. As we recap what has been another tremendous weekend of boxing since the Errol Spence Shawn Porter fight that happened last month, September 28th, we've had an incredible run of boxing. I mean, never before in the history of this podcast have we had so many consecutive fight show recaps because boxing is on an iconic run of great fights. And once again, this past weekend, two great fights occurred, including one of the greatest junior welterweight fights of all time between one of the greatest fighters to ever come out of New Orleans against one of the greatest fighters to ever come out of Scotland in what was a great fight between two very high-profile, stylish fighters. I'm talking about Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis for the Ring Junior Welterweight Championship and for the championship of the World Boxing Super Series tournament. An incredible fight, and we'll start off with that. Josh Taylor's a slick boxer, and he fought the right fight because if he would have boxed his usual style, I think Prograis would have walked him down. He came inside, he smothered Regis' punches, and just outgutted Regis in a tremendous war.
Who do you think, when going into this fight, who was going to win?
I knew it was going to be a 50-50 fight because I thought Josh Taylor had the type of style to give Prograis problems. I didn't think he was going to fight this type of fight, though. I thought Taylor was going to move, and Taylor did the right thing. He took an enormous amount of punishment in fighting the only way he could have won the fight had he moved. And if you see in this fight, when he did move, Prograis' jab dominated the fight. Taylor, by coming inside, nullified Prograis' great jab, but he did get hit with a lot of hellacious body punches. And when the fight ended, look at Taylor's face. It looked like somebody took a baseball bat and batted his right eye. He had to go through hell to win a tremendous fight. I thought Prograis would win by knockout. I was wrong. I thought the fight was 50-50. I thought the only way Taylor would have won was by boxing. I was wrong. Taylor knew what he had to do to win, and he did it. Also, Logan, this is the type of fight that takes years off of both fighters because of the amount of punishment they took in this fight. A tremendous war. And Taylor walked through Prograis' has power in both hands, especially his left cross. And there was a few instances where Taylor got hit with a left cross and he stopped for a second, but then he would keep coming. He gutted it throughout. Unbelievable heart shown by both fighters.
What was your scoring in the first few rounds?
The first 4 rounds, that anybody that wants to see my scorecard is on Twitter. I had the first 4 rounds even. I had the first round Taylor as he was boxing. But then beginning in round 2, he started going inside, and I gave it to Prograis. Round 3, Taylor out-slugged and out-hustled Prograis. Round 4, Prograis landed some hellacious left crosses. So after 4 rounds, I had it dead even. Beginning with the 5th round, from rounds 5 through 10, I had Taylor winning the majority of those rounds because after 10 rounds, matter of fact, I had a 2-2. The 5 of the next 6 rounds, I gave to Taylor. Taylor dominated those rounds, and that's what spurred him on to victory because in rounds 11 and 12, Taylor showing signs of fatigue and Prograis showing signs of desperation, gave it all he could to try to knock out Taylor in the 12th round, one of the great rounds in junior welterweight history and a contender for round of the year. And I had the same score as one of the judges, 115-113 Taylor. One judge had it even, which I could understand, Logan, because there was a few rounds that could have gone either way. Those first 4 rounds, you could have scored those 4 rounds to anybody. Those first 4 rounds could have gone to either fighter. One judge, the British judge, gave Taylor 9 rounds. I don't see how you could give either fighter 9 rounds, not in this kind of a fight. Needless, he won. He deserved and won the fight, and a tremendous war. A fight in which both fighters won, even though Prograis lost. In the history of boxing, there have been those type of crossroads fights, type of fights with two great fighters, and I consider both these fighters great fighters. Both fighters proved their greatness last night. And this is one of the rare occasions in boxing where two great fighters go in, and neither man is a loser. Both men came out winners, even though there was an official winner. Reminded me of, in the history of boxing, when Ali fought Frazier for the first time. Frazier won the fight, but Ali won also because people saw he could take a punch and people saw his heart. It reminded me of the first Sugar Ray Leonard-Roberto Duran fight. Duran won the fight, but people saw Leonard won also because people saw that he could take a punch and he had a great heart.
There's going to be a rematch, you think?
I hope there's going to be a rematch, but neither fighter could fight for a while. You saw their faces after the fight, and today both men at a press conference shaking it, and a shout out to Taylor-Prograise. Classy dude. Interviewed in ringside, they actually thought he won. He said the better man won the fight. And I got to give him credit because, 99 times out of 100, a close fight, the guy who lost is going to say he got robbed. Prograise said last night that Taylor was the better man, and I agree with him. I don't see any way you could have scored the fight for Prograise. I know there was 4 rounds that could have gone either way, but you'd be a fool to give one of those fighters all 4 rounds. That's how close those 4 rounds were. It doesn't work that way. If Prograise would have won, I'd have had a problem with it. And I'm a huge Prograise fan. I thought, and I still think, that he's one of the future greats of the sport. Taylor proved to me last night that he also is one of the future greats of the sport. Right now, the only other fight either guy should take is Jose Ramirez, who holds 2 sanctioning titles that I won't talk of because the man in his division is Josh Taylor because he is the Ring Junior welterweight title. That's the only title World Championship Boxing podcast recognizes. Taylor can only fight 2 guys, a rematch with Prograise or Jose Ramirez. Prograise can only fight 2 guys, a fight with Ramirez or a rematch with Josh Taylor. And Jose Ramirez can only fight 2 guys, Prograise or Taylor. He shouldn't fight anybody else. Right? There's nobody else in the junior welterweight division to fight. Those are the 3 guys, Taylor, Ramirez, and Prograise.
Okay, so let's go to the next fight.
Okay, another great fight that happened last night, and I watched it this morning because I was watching let's talk about the one-sided beating and the impressive performance by Shakur Stevenson in the never-ending drama of I'm going after you, I'm banging your sister, and I'm gonna take your title and then go to her after the fight and brag about how I kicked her brother's ass. And he kicked her brother's ass. Jr Gonzalez was never in the fight. Shakur Stevenson easily won 11 of the 12 rounds. Shakur Stevenson is turning out to be a special fighter. You can tell that he has watched extensively tapes of Pernell Whitaker and Floyd Mayweather. Because if you look at his style, he is very, very similar to both these fighters in his defensive style. Doesn't do a lot of running. He stands in the pocket. He makes you miss all day. You can make an argument that Shakur Stevenson right now is the best defensive fighter in boxing. And you might say, and even in only 13 pro, and a southpaw, which makes it even tougher for you to hit him, a la Pernell Whitaker, a tremendous counterpuncher. Shakur has all the skills. The only thing we don't know, and I hope we don't find out until years down the line, is if he could take a punch. Why? Because he doesn't get hit. And the only round he lost, he took off. He took off the 7th round. It's the only round I gave Gonzalez. He laid up against the ropes and he made Gonzalez miss the entire round. He just didn't throw any punches. But beginning with the 8th, he went back to split counter. I love Shakur's left cross counterpunch. It's a tremendous counterpuncher. And if he wanted to, he could be a knockout artist. But he's in this sport to make money. He's in this sport for the longevity. His manager is Andre Ward, which was inexplicable by his absence. Andre Ward is Shakur Stevenson's manager, but he's an ESPN broadcaster. ESPN Plus broadcasted the fight, and Andre Ward wasn't at ringside to broadcast like he's done Ward's entire career, which I have a problem with. I don't think you should be announcing the guy whose career you're running fight. That's too much bias there. I don't think you could be partial. But he wasn't there. He wasn't even at ringside. He wasn't even in the city. They said he was in Los Angeles. This fight was held in Las Vegas. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know. I'd have to check with Andre Ward's Twitter, see what he had to say about that. But you could see a lot of Andre Ward also in Shakur Stevenson, because Andre Ward, when he was young, was a very great defensive fighter who didn't take chances unless he had to. Shakur Stevenson is going to have a very long and fruitful and great career. And within the next 2-3 years, I predict he will be the best fighter in the world. He's that good.
Yeah, he great performance, but Gonzalez wasn't in his league.
No, he wasn't in his league, but he's a sanctioning belt holder champion that was promoted by the same people, Top Rank. So it was a fight that could easily be made. The other guys in the featherweight division, Gary Russell, Leo Santa Cruz, who moved up to junior lightweight and wouldn't even fight the guy that he's co-promoted with in the same promoter, Gary Russell. He's been ducking Russell so many years, it's not funny. I would love to see a fight between Gary Russell and Shakur Stevenson, because these are two featherweights that are fast, both got great hand speed, and I think it would be a tremendous fight because Russell would force Stevenson to counterpunch more. I see Stevenson beat Russell, but it would be a tough fight for both fighters, and that fight probably won't happen because Shakur's a top-ranked fighter, and Russell's a premier boxing fighter, and like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, that fight's never been made. I don't see Russell and Stevenson happening. There's another fighter in England, Josh Warrington, who's another sanctioning belt holder. That would be a tremendous fight, Warrington versus Shakur. And I could easily see that fight being made. And that fight could be very similar to the Prograise-Taylor fight, where you have two boxers bringing their game. So I would like to see that fight. The Russell fight's not going to happen. It's two different promoters. And Leo Santa Cruz ran up to junior lightweight. So the only other guy in the featherweight division that Shakur should fight, that he could fight, is Josh Warrington. Shakur landed some beautiful body punches last night, counter body punches, and when he was going first. Shakur has all the qualities of becoming an all-time great. Just keep doing what he's doing. He's only going to get better. He's only 22 years old. All right, the next fight, which was a tremendous fight. Robert Easter Jr. coming off a couple of lackluster performances. This was supposed to be a fight where he could shine against a brawler, Jr Granados. And for the first 5-6 rounds, Easter was bouncing combinations off of Granados' head at will. But beginning with the 7th round, Granados was able to lure Easter into a toe-to-toe slugfest. And from round 7 to 10, these two men stood toe-to-toe and gave some of the best action of this year. Another great fight. Granados doesn't have much left. He's a punching bag. He's got a lot of heart. And within 5 years, he'll be needing an interpreter because he won't be able to speak. But he gave the fans their money's worth, showed a lot of heart. The fans gave him a standing ovation after he lost the 10-round decision. And that's the biggest problem I have with Robert Easter. Robert Easter is very tall for his division. He's 6 feet tall. But he wants to slug. He keeps slugging with these fighters where he should be standing outside using a very good jab and his right cross. He has tremendous tools, but he wants to slug. It doesn't make sense, and it's going to curtail his career. And when he runs, he's a junior welterweight now. He runs into Regis Prograise or Jose Ramirez. They're going to put him into retirement.
You know what it is? He's got a good chin, and that's probably his downfall.
He does have a tremendous chin because Garcia rocked him several times when he stood up to Garcia.
Yeah, and Garcia, he was a great inside fighter.
And Garcia beat the hell out of Easter, and Easter went the 12-round distance. So, yeah, the chin's going to be to his detriment. He's going to wind up getting severely hurt. He continues to fight that way. Maybe it's time for him to get rid of his trainer. He's had the same trainer his entire career. He needs to get maybe with a seasoned trainer, maybe somebody like a Freddie Roach, a Teddy Atlas, Ronnie Shields, somebody that could take him and show him, look, stop fighting inside.
His trainer was telling him that every time he came to the thing, he's like, stop fighting toe-to-toe with this motherfucker.
I know, his trainer, but he was enlisted, and probably, you know what, he probably does what he wants to do. It's time to move on to somebody that's not going to allow him to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Because he's got tremendous talent, and he can give all those guys problems if he boxed. But problem is he's not going to box.
Well, he did the first for a few rounds. He did. That's
yeah,
what
but
I
he saw how
understand.
easy it was to hit. He saw how easy it was to hit Granados, and he was like, man, I can knock this guy out. Now, when you see a guy's not going out, just stay outside and just you can land still outside without getting hit. You know, we talk about two types of things on the show: unnecessary movement and unnecessary punishment. He took unnecessary punishment.
But it was a great fight.
And it's a continuation of what has been, starting with Spence Porter, a spectacular fall of boxing. It's funny. It's like the minute fall hit, boxing woke the fuck up after having a dreary first 8 months. The last 2 months has been spectacular, and fans, it's going to stay spectacular because next week we got another fight of the year type fight in Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev. I mean, the hits keep on hitting.
This is probably the fight of the year.
Because Canelo's going to take it to Kovalev. It's going to be a war. He's going to bang the body. Kovalev still has that right hand. Canelo has that chin. There's going to be a lot of tension in that fight. It's going to be tremendous. It's not going to be two guys looking at each other trying to outbox each other.
Man, I would have loved to see Canelo versus Andre Ward, given that he's up at this weight now.
You know, people are bugging Andre Ward about that. Andre Ward, after what Arthur Beterbiev did last week, and Andre Ward was there ringside, he's not coming back. He doesn't have the hunger to go in and train and have to face something like that. No, Andre is retired. He's making money as a manager, as an announcer. He's living large.
Yeah, he's still got a pretty face, so keep it that way.
Yeah. He's got a pretty wife. He's got pretty kids. Yeah, no need to ruin all that. And very articulate. You could tell he didn't get hit much in his career because there's no slurring in his speech, and a tremendous businessman. Man's making money hand over foot. No need for him to go back into the squared circle. Erickson Lubin won his fight over Nathaniel Gallimore and looked impressive. I got to give Erickson Lubin credit. Since losing his only fight, he's come back and he's been impressive. And he fought a very good fighter, Nathaniel Gallimore, last night and totally dominated and win a 10-round decision. So look for Lubin to continue to possibly get another title. He's the number 2 contender in his division, so chance of getting another title shot. But we could talk about the upcoming fights that are happening. You have Canelo Kovalev next week. My prediction is Canelo by a late round stoppage or decisive decision. I see Kovalev get off to a fast start, but Canelo's going to bang that body, the best body puncher in the game, not named Arthur Beterbiev. And Kovalev, like he did against Andre Ward, will fold and either get knocked out late or hold on to lose a decision.
I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Remember how great both Triple G Canelo fights were. I see this on that type of level. This is going to be a great fight because Kovalev's career is on the line. Kovalev wants to and needs to fight well enough where he can get a rematch, win or lose. If he beats Canelo, you know he's going to give Canelo a rematch. They're like, oh, okay, I can get another $20 million. Now,
if he beats Canelo, he's back. I mean, he'll be back on top.
Oh, he'll be the fighter of the year. He's already the comeback fighter of the year. If he beats Canelo, he'll be the fighter of the year. If he loses or loses valiantly, then he can get a rematch against Canelo. And so he has to fight competitively to get a rematch because there's no way in hell Kovalev's going to fight Beterbiev. His best bet is to fight Canelo and get 2 fights out of this and then go retire or go to jail, one or the other, because this man just can't keep his hands off of women.
Who's going to be the fighter of the year, most likely?
Oh, man, right now it's a wide open race. You got the winner of Canelo Kovalev is a candidate. You got Andy Ruiz, if he beats Joshua, will probably be the runaway winner. But let's say Joshua beats Ruiz in the rematch. You got Josh Taylor after beating Prograise last night. He's a contender. Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia and Porter. No one else in boxing could say they beat 2 fighters on that level this calendar year. You have Naoya Inoue, who on November 7th fights Nonito Donaire for the World Boxing Super Series and Ring Bantamweight Championship. He destroys Donaire. He's in the hat for Fighter of the Year. So it's wide open for Fighter of the Year. I mean, that's how great of a year this has been. two guys that won't be in the running are the two best fighters on the planet. Two best fighters on the planet have fought nothing but bums this year, and that's Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford is fighting a bum by the name of Mean Machine December 14th in the Garden. The only way this guy could win is if Terrence Crawford gets shot while they sing the national anthem, and he's bleeding all over the place, and then possibly Mean Machine will win 2 rounds.
All right, so we're going to get off here and go on to our movie show and talk about the movie Spawn from 1997 for our Halloween series. Talk to you then. Thanks, everybody, for listening.